There we are, starting off today under a little railway bridge, parking a car up. So today's walk, we're heading up Jacob's Ladder from Upper Booth, find the Pennine Way for a bit, then we go across for Edale Cross, drop down and then across to Mount Famine, then south head, then back over to Brown Knoll, and there's an aircraft wreck there, so we're going to give that a go, and then back down across towards Rushup Edge, and then back down via either Chapel Gate or I think there's another clough that I can do, drop back down to where I'm parked just down there. So about 10 miles, 2,224 foot of ascent and descent. It's a bit of a tester today. I feel a bit better this week, so this might have been foolish. The weather looks a bit intermittent, quite windy, gusts of up to 30-40 miles an hour and about 20 miles an hour generally, so not too bad down here at the bottom, but up the top there, yeah, it's going to be a bit interesting. So I put a bit more warmer clothing on because basically it's going to be about 10-11 degrees on the top, or even less with the wind chill. So quite a cool day today, possible showers. So I've got my waterproof sandwiches and all that, coffee, trying my water thing out on my rucksack, which is up here. It should be down here, so we're going to stick that in there. So yeah, looking forward to today. Anyway, big moon shot in my face here. We're heading up here now. You can see Jacob's Ladder just there, so we're going to go up there to the top. That'll be a nice steep bit of ascent to start off with, just following the path down here first to catch up with the Pennine Way. So I'll catch up with you when I get to anything interesting and get up to the top. Edale Cross is a medieval cross, that should be interesting. And I say on Brown Knoll, just off the west of the summit, there's an Airspeed Oxford crash in 1945, so we'll have a quick look at that. Alright, so we're going to crack on down here and I'll catch up with you later on. Jacob's Ladder's here, goes up to there, to the cairn, then you can go carrying up to Edale Rocks, but we're going to head over to Edale Cross and come down to Mount Famine. And just as we come around this corner, there's the famous little bridge at the bottom. Friggin' mountain bikers. There we go, just there. ladder. Oh, up there's Edale Rocks. We're going straight ahead down here to Edale Cross and then dropping down to Mount Famine. That was quite tough, but actually better than I thought it'd be. So maybe even a week of just trying to get fit is helping. There's a helicopter there. Probably mountain rescue again. They're getting quite a few call outs now this time of year. There was somebody the other day who jumped from the upper to the lower pool on 3 Shires Head. So if you know that, you'll know that's a bit stupid at this time of year, especially, and he hit the rocks and quite badly hurt himself. But I guess there's no understanding stupid, is there? I get a good view coming here about where we're going to come back later. So we just come around this corner. You can probably see it there. Here's that hill in the distance. So we're going down, up that and along Brown Knoll. So come along here to Brown Knoll and then down the other side. So I'll double check whether that's either Mount Famine or South Head, one of the two. Possibly South Head, I think. But we're going to go on the top of there. That'd be a nice viewpoint there, across over to the south. And we're just going along this path here now to Edale Cross. So that was Edale Cross. So that's one of these medieval way markers that come along all these routes. So probably 8th century, but I'll find out more about that as usual and stick it up on the video. Quite a bit of wind now. We're heading down here, so quite a bit of descent. Only trouble with descent is you have to come back up again. So I think overall it's about 2,224 foot of ascent today, which is the most I've done in a long time. I think I did 1,800 feet the other week, but that'll test the legs out. Achilles tendon was tweaking a little bit then, but hopefully it'll be a eat. And this water thing's good, you know, with the old pipe. Still a hint of fairy liquid in it, I think, from when I washed it out, but a bit of a tang to it. But yeah, so let's just say just stopping and getting your water bottles out and all that sort of malarkey. I guess the only thing it doesn't do is keep it cold, but I'm not too fussed about that. But yeah, some lovely views there over towards Manchester. Just see Manchester in the distance there, and I think this is where I'm going. So dropping down here and over these two, I think that's Mount Famine and that's South Head, and then I'll be on my way up to Brown Knoll and then find that aircraft crash and then back down either Chapelgate or a Clough back to the car park. So yeah, quite a bit of ascent, but looking at that, quite a bit of climbing still to do. Anyway, I'll catch you in a bit. I know I knew Edale Cross from somewhere. I just struck a chord with me. When I was about 18, I was an apprentice at Rolls Royce, so we're talking probably 37 years ago. We did an outward bounce course, and we were based in the Holliford Centre in Castleton, and we had an overnight exercise, and it was driving rain, so a bunch of us had to do the hike and another bunch had to do logistics, like setting the campsite up and all that sort of thing. So I was one of the hikers, and we came over here in absolutely lashing rain, only to get to the campsite and find out that the guys doing logistics had failed the first test, which is always check your stock before you go out, and they deliberately hadn't put some tent poles in one of the tents. So there was about 5 of us crammed in a tent in the pissing rain on Kinder Scout, eating cold rice pudding and stewing steak. Yeah, that was an interesting experience, that. But yeah, beautiful views. So head off down here now, and I'll catch up with you when I get to the bottom, and probably start to climb again unless I see anything else of interest. Nice little brook there. We're heading over there. That's a bit steep, that, isn't it? Could be a bit of fun getting up there. If I remember rightly, we're going around the south side of this and up that way. So yeah, I think this is one of these, a bit like Shutlings, I think there's a special name for them, something like Inuit, or I'll find out what it is. It's which in the last ice age, the very top of that would have appeared above the glacier, so it wasn't eroded, and the rest below was. This gives you this long, sharp sort of ridge at the very top. So yeah, we're going to crack on down here and then round the bottom and back up. You can see that, it's a bit like Shuttings, it's like a big nipple. Whatever angle you come on, it'll look different. So yeah, cool, that. I'm looking forward to that. Should be a nice walk along that ridge. That's a photo opportunity if I've ever seen one. I shall get a picture of that. Superb. Look at that lovely view across there. You know what, I've seen a Soldiers I dropped off Kinder and Jacob's Ladder. Just shows you, just come off a beaten track a little bit. Up by Jacob's Ladder, which is why I didn't film with the care at the top. I just took some pictures. It was rammed with people taking selfies. So I just carried on to Edale Cross in the end. But yeah, stunning. And can't see that many people up there, 1 or 2, but not a lot. That looks like a really good ridge walk, that. I'm quite looking forward to that in some ways, and not others. Anyway, we'll take some pictures now, and then we'll crack on down there. Slobbering away there, mate. So we've come down there. That is South Head, so that's Mount Famine. I think we're coming down here, down Caldwell Clough, and then back along that Bridle Way there, and then around the south side, and then up, and then we'll probably just go and bob along the top. Looking at it, I think my original route took me down and across and up. What I think I might do, just bob along that ridge. It doesn't look too bad at all, that, if you can get over. It's all open access, so there shouldn't be any reason why not. That might be a slightly better route. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. Nice little lane down here, I think it's called Caldwell Dale. So just going to follow the road down here, a bit easier walking there. And then jet there. I've seen so many jets flying into Manchester. And then we're going up that bugger. That's going to be fun. So next half of the climbing, I think. I've already the half going up Jacob's Ladder. I think up there and South Head's the other half. Stunning views, eh? I've seen it so many times going to Chapel on the Frith to do Morrison's to do some shopping. And I've always thought, oh, it looks like a really good walk, that. So I see a couple of people up there. Not sure if they're going up or going down. But anyway, so we'll get some cracking views from there and burn a few more calories. So heading down here now through this little dale down to the bottom, and then I think we follow the Bridle Way up then. Nice little brook there. I went too far then. I'm rambling off down there. I should have gone off over here, because I think we're going to go off here and then I think climb up there to the Bridle Way. That's really cute, that. Fern covered thing. I'll get a picture of that and then crack on. How cool is this? Little bridge here. There's this brook. Oh, this looks like a steep climb. Time for the sticks. Fuck yeah. I think we go straight up here. This is going to be fun. I'll catch up with you when I get to the top. I'm still breathing. Well, we've come down and we just fucking come up a fair way. That was steep. There's where we're headed. We'll go around a Broadway here. I think there'll be a path up to the top and then we can just walk along the top then. Whew! That was a fair bit of ascent. Almost vertical in places, and I went past the stile because there's like a shortcut where people avoided a bog, but the stile was in the bog. But anyway, time for a banana, a drink and a bit of caffeine to fuel me up, I think. And then probably have my sandwiches on the top. So I'll catch up with you when I get a bit further on. So over there, that's the western edge of Kinder. I think that's Kinder Downfall. Over the back here will be Hayfield, and over that way will be Glossop. So yeah, that's where I was the other week, I think, when I went up Mill Hill and then come up there. I remember rightly. Stunning though. So a banana, I'll give him some energy and try and get up that fucker, and then it's along and up and down and then south head, and then a steady ascent up to Brown Knoll and then down all the way back. Changing route, this will save me a bit of time actually. Open access land there up to the top along the ridge. Otherwise I was going to drop down the bridle path and back up, which looked a lot steeper to me. So I'll do that up and over that stile there, and then up and over up that path to the top, and then along the ridge, which will give us some good views. Whew. And then just a bit more of a climb up to South Head. So I'll catch up with you when I get to the top. Well, we're at the top. We've come from all the way down there where that road is. It's got lots of wind a bit here. Oh yeah, came all the way up there and then all the way up here. So, whew. Now we're going to head over there, up to the top of South Head, back onto that Broadway, over to Brown Knoll over there. So, whew, one bit more of a climb, top of South Head, and then nothing too bad after that. Stunning views all around. Manchester over there, I think that's Chinley Churn over there. This is up in Mount Famine. South Head. Well worth it, despite the fact I thought my heart was going to give out then. Well, it's really cooling down now. I'm going to get the other side of that and have a cup of coffee and my sandwich, I think, or maybe even the top of South Head. Yeah, that'll be a good idea. Top over that lee side and have my sandwiches. These sticks make a big difference, tell you that now. But if I'm up and downhill, thank God. So I think there's a little bit of a double dip here. So down, up, and then steady old climb up to the top of Brown Knoll, and then try and find this aircraft wreck. So see you when you get to the top of there. Cool little place for a wild camp there. Nice and sheltered. An old shepherd's hut or something. Yeah. Well, anyway, onwards and upwards. Right, we're on the top of Mount Famine. You can look over there towards Edale Rocks. We came all the way down there. Over here, Chinley, and then there's Chapel on the Frith. So when I used to drive in, or when I do drive in to Morrison's, you see these two hills here, and then you've got South Head, got the railway tunnel vent over there, and we're going to head up over to Brown Knoll over there. There's a trig point over there somewhere. Find this aircraft wreck and then head down. So a bit of a deviation from the original plan. The original plan I came round and then up, but this is just a more direct route. Probably should have noticed that on the map really. Sorry, it's a big load of water. Swallows here, dive bombing me. Beautiful. Anyway, gonna crack on now to South Head, have lunch there, and then yeah, I'll meet up with you when I get to the top of that. Had a bit of my sandwich, the old mucker. Yeah, got no more left now, mate. Sorry. I'll see you soon. We're gonna head up there now. See you in a bit. So that's where we just come across, and over there, and that's the valley. We could have come up this way actually, but we didn't bother. We're heading now over here to Brown Knoll. Starting to feel a bit crap, to be honest with you. Got a couple of cups of coffee to try and bolster my energy. Probably took a little bit too much on, I think. Twat. But anyway, we head off to Brown Knoll now, which I think is a fairly steady climb. Hopefully nothing too bad. And then up for this aircraft wreck and then drop down back to the car, hopefully. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. Just seeing the Coast Guard helicopter just drop down there where Jacob's Ladder is then. So hovering quite low, so not sure what's gone off up there. I'll check the Facebook page later. Whew, man, do I feel knackered now. Got about three and a half miles to go, I think. But when you consider we came up over there, down, up over there and back around here, done pretty well really. But yeah, I'll probably catch sight of that helicopter when we go over to Brown Knoll over there. That's his lamp, also a lamp down there. He's after him. Go on. So just cresting the hill towards Brown Knoll. So you can see where we came all the way along there, all the way down to the bottom, up there, across there, and back around here. So over here to the right to Brown Knoll, quick look for this plane, and then we head back down towards Chapelgate. But I think there's a little shortcut off before Chapelgate, hopefully, and I can just bob down there to back to the car, but we'll see. There we are, guys. Didn't take long to find that at all. That's what's left of the Oxford crash. So there you go, a bit of engine cowl, stuff like that. So this happened in 1945. They had a crew of 4 who were flying from Stafford on a map reading exercise. Now the last time they'd done that was in South Africa, which is, as you can imagine, the weather was probably a lot better. Well, this time it wasn't. So quite cloudy. They were flying at about 1,000 foot to try and keep landing sight. I think it was a navigator was a bit cocky, said, "Oh, I know this area very well, it'll be right as rain." At that point, when they needed to accelerate, the engine had been iced up a little bit, and they crashed here into the side of the mountain, onto the side of Brown Knoll. Now, the 4 crew survived. The guy who, what happened was, the least injured of the guys, a guy called Charlie Croker. Now, you might remember his name, I'll tell you why in a minute. Anyway, he wrapped up his 3 injured colleagues in their parachutes and crawled for 4 hours over this type of terrain to a nearby farm and youth hostel to raise the alarm, and it wasn't until the next day that they managed to come and locate the wreck and rescue the remaining crew, and that night had record low temperatures. Now the guy's name was Charlie Croker who did that. He was the least injured. And do you know why you know him? Well, he's a manager of Charlton Athletic for a while, and then he ran the FA until about 1992. Some will argue not very well, but that's what he did. So anyway, I put all the details up about that crash, but they basically pulled all the wreckage together. He's been here for quite a while now, but that's good. I managed to find it quite easily as well. I actually used a bit of contour walking there, so I noticed it was on a contour and just walked and kept myself flat, and pretty much came to it. So with the navigation skills there. But yeah, what a bleak place to come down. Okay, I'll take some pictures now, and then we'll crack on and get up to Brown Knoll. Here we are at Brown Knoll Trig. Quite bleak up here. See Edale Rocks, that's Edale Stones, what it's called over there. Manchester, just the tip of Mount Famine there. Oh no, South Head, sorry. And then you can see a bit of the tip of the Great Ridge over there. We're heading down here. I'm going to grab a bit of a drink and chocolate bar. Got a bit of a headache, I'll play a caffeine headache or dehydrated, I'm not sure what. But it's all downhill now, which is good to know. So I'll catch up with you in a bit as I move on. You can see the Great Ridge there, and there's a railway tunnel bent over there. So it's all paved now down here. We then tie up with Chapelgate. I turn that Chapelgate for a little bit, and then I turn left up a footpath down a clough. So it's a little bit shorter route. Although Chapelgate's not too bad, but it just takes a little bit off. But look at that. And that might make a good photo actually. So on that note, catch you later. If you can hear that skylark singing its little heart out. Here we are, just come up to Chapelgate, which we came up on a walker about a month ago I think, so I'll put a link up into that at the end. That was a nice little walk from Castleton, looking for some aircraft wrecks and the like. So swallows around, look at that, some clouds coming over, stunning that. I'll make a good picture. So we're going to end up down Chapelgate, and we veer off to the left, back down to the car, so about a mile left now, thank God. So I'm just going to take a picture of that, because that's stunning. Yeah, again, another route change. My original route went down there, but I've not parked where I was meant to be parking. I've parked near the railway bridge, or under the railway bridge, so there's another footpath a bit further down. It's a bit more direct route, so I'm going to take that instead. So a slight deviation, but always best to adapt. Well, look at that Edale there, beautiful. I think they're off a beaten track. Anyway, we're heading down here for a bit now, and then there's another path off to the left, and we'll take that, and that takes us virtually there, so that's good. So catch up with you there, and then we'll do a wrap up or something. I came up this the other week, and you don't realise the ascent sometimes that you're doing, because it never looks as steep when you're going up. When you look down, mate, it's a bloody steep hill this. Quite impressed now. Anyway, keep on going. Just come down Chapelgate. Here's Edale before us. There's a Great Ridge, Loose Hill back tour and all that. There's Mam Nick. The road comes down, we're going back that way when I go back in the car. Yeah, glorious. Now all downhill now to the road, and then turn left and I'm at the car. If it's still there, and then I might have to go. I've got fixated in my head a log of shandy. That will go down and not touch the sides, I'm telling you. Anyway, I'll catch up with you when I get back to the car. Do a quick wrap up. Oh, back at the car now. That's quite a good walk, that. About my limit now, that was. Not walk for about, probably proper walk for about 2 months at least, I think. That was 10 miles, 2,124 foot of ascent, I think, so quite a lot. Up Jacob's Ladder, then up over Famine, and then Southhead, and then back round. But really enjoyed that. Found the aircraft wreck first time. So yeah, great walk. I'll put the GPX route up as always. Made a few slight tweaks to the route because of where I parked. So I parked under this railway bridge rather than paying in the car park. So that's it. So I'll catch you on the next time out. Have a good one.